Hey everybody, Nick Espinosa, your chief security fanatic here, and today we are talking about 6G wireless, because it's on its way, and that's kind of pointless. Now, hear me out here. I'm not saying the 6G technology itself is pointless, but just bear with me here. Now, this is coming from Gizmodo, and I've got a lot of thoughts on this. And so here's what's going on. The march of technology waits for no one. So despite the fact that the blazing fast 5G speeds we've been promised are nowhere near close to blanketing the United States here, Samsung is already testing 6G in its labs. This test hardware obviously promised to deliver just blistering speeds and probably going to change our life in some way, shape, or form, just like 5G did. So here's what's going on. A team of researchers from the University of California, Santa Barbara, and Samsung Research, as well as Samsung Research America, successfully completed another test of their 140 gigahertz transmitter and receiver that was first developed at UC Santa Barbara's Electrical and Computer Engineering in 2017. 5G signals would exist in basically a frequency in the 40 gigahertz range. 6G would actually go past 100 gigahertz and into the terahertz spectrum. Obviously, that is a considerable amount of firepower. Now, 6G so far in their tests are looking like it will deliver over wireless 6.2 gigabits of speed, around 775 megabytes, not megabits, megabytes per second. 5G speed record is over 4.5 gigabits using specialized hardware that consumers will probably never see or get their hands on. And I want to basically put this quote out there from this article in Gizmodo, and I quote, "There will certainly be similarly useful applications for 6G when it eventually rolls out. By then, our smartphones might project 8K holograms or stream complex virtual reality worlds streamed real-time from a powerful remote server handling all the complex rendering. With a timeline that sees 6G arriving in 2030 at the earliest, however, much of the bleeding edge early adopters shouldn't pay much attention to the technology just yet." And I don't think that we need to ignore this per se. I do think it's pointless at this time. And what I mean by that is we are always trying to adopt new technology, but we can't keep up with this. Basically, our processors, when we're developing processors or video cards, are vastly outpacing the ability of software makers to actually utilize every aspect of that in some way, shape, or form. And so by virtue of that, you can have a 3-year-old processor that at the time was a complete Ferrari work perfectly fine. You can get an old 5-year-old Intel Xeon processor that will run Windows 7. If you've got enough, Windows 10, Windows 7. It came out of the Windows 7 era, and it will run Windows 10 just fine, given enough memory and all these kinds of things. But when we are looking at wireless technology, and inevitably we're going there, we're at some point going to need 6G. But we have bigger problems than that right now because we can't even roll out 5G in any real or coherent way. And that's why I'm saying 6G is pointless, not the technology itself. I'm looking forward to 6G, 7G, 8G, 9G, 10G, whatever it is. But right now, we can't even get 5G up and running, and a good chunk of the country thinks it's going to give them coronavirus or cause some kind of weird whatever it is. And we've seen cell towers being burned for 5G. And so at some point, as we are developing this technology, the question becomes, where is the balance between developing the next technology versus the practicality of actually deploying that as well? I mean, we need these kinds of bandwidth. I mean, 6.2 gigabits, my God, that's amazing. But now we also have to improve battery lives in our phones, because if we're cranking up that kind of power and we're getting that kind of speed because we've got the infrastructure to do it, we need better batteries. We need faster phones. We need all of these things that follow along when, quite frankly, a lot of us don't really need to adopt that. You can go use 4G right now and stream Netflix in high def. It's got that much bandwidth. You don't need 5G for a lot of stuff. Our development, our platforms, our apps aren't there yet. And so as this technology comes out, not much is utilizing it. And at some point, when does it become a fool's errand? So I think that's a very interesting question. Again, I'm going to get knocked for this because everybody's going to read that title and think Nick thinks 6G is pointless. That's not what I'm saying here. I hope you listen to this or watch this, and now you understand. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe and stay online and stay private. Thanks, everyone.